Hey guys, it's FIFA Rally here, and welcome to episode 84 of Let's FIFA 13. And as you can see, I picked a bunch of attribute cards, giving a player plus a 6 attack, and I actually also went out and bought a lot of head coaches, meaning that this card will give a plus 9 attack to any player I apply it on. And as you can see here, they do only cost around 200 coins, so very cheap. And I've never used them before in Ultimate Team, only if I got them in a pack and then quickly threw them on a player, but never on a game-to-game basis. And what I want to test out is if it actually does work well on a player. And the thought behind this is basically, instead of going out and picking up a very expensive inform, you can maybe use 20k over 100 games to have one player that is just a standout player. And I mean, it's probably not the best idea if you're going for a cheap inform, but let's say I want to play a 3-5-2 and have 2 strikers with 5-star skills. I do only see a few strikers that are able to use on the striker position, and that is Ibrahimovic, Wallison, maybe Fed Facides, Tarapt, and Inform Neymar could work as well, but none of them would link up apart from Wallison and Inform Neymar. And going out and picking up Inform Neymar is very expensive, and you'll probably make a loss once you sell him because of the tax. So instead of getting that loss on the tax, which might be 50k, something like that, you can use 20k to play a striker in 100 games. And I doubt you will use an Inform Neymar for 100 games. So the idea is to test this out, see if it works, and if it doesn't, alright. But if it works, it might be a pretty cool idea to open up a lot of spots in your squad when you're building a squad, because sometimes you have that weak player which you think he will not fit into the squad, but if you use this technique, you might be able to use him. So the squad I'm building is some cheap players all around, apart from Inform, Ronaldinho, and Wallison, of course. Matuidi there on the defensive mid, only 14k, quite cheap, and some good all-around stats. And then we have and pretty solid defense with quite a bit of pace. Then Ben Arthur and Elia with the 5-star skills on right mid, left mid. And the final player as the striker is Elgerson, which I'll try the technique out on. So as you can see, he does have some all-around good stats, but I always feel whenever he's up against those, your typical center backs with Kabul, David Luiz, stuff like that, he's just not quick enough to get past them or strong enough. So the thing I think is, if you apply the card, he will have some all-around good stats, which you'll see here in just a second. I will apply it, and I believe he gets around 83 pace, very good shooting, dribbling, and heading. All his stats are in the 70s already, which is alright for a 75 rated card. But if we apply the fitness card with the coaches, he will actually end up being like an 84 rated player, and his stats looks pretty tasty. 83 pace, 84 shooting, 83 passing, 87 dribbling, and 85 heading. That is some all-around really good stats, and I'll play maybe 10 to 20 games with this squad and try out this technique, and if it works out, I'll probably use it from time to time in other squads if there's a single player I do not feel fits in perfectly. So going into the first game, I go into the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup, and I come up against a very nice 3-5-2 side there with some good players, 3 5-star skillers as well. And I made a mistake to start off with. I take a long touch with my keeper. I meant to boot it away straight away, but it ends up being a touch and a delayed boot away, I guess we could call it. And he picks it up to make it 1-0 and 2-0 and 3-0 it is in the 83rd minute. So I thought, was I wrong making this decision, making this team and trying out this technique, or was I just playing a terrible game? I do manage to get it back, but really a 3-1 loss wasn't what I had expected. So I wanted to play one more game with them, see if I can make up for it, see if I can get a good goal maybe. So we go into the round of 16, continuing with this side, trying out the technique, and I come up against a pretty nice team here. As you can see here, 3-5-2 Serie A side, which tend to be very difficult to break down, at least for me. But I will get the game started in the first minute. Nice stuff here from Wallison, making his way into the box, and then a lot of clumsy stuff happening, and somehow the ball will fall to Elgerson, who puts it into the back of the net to make it 1-0. So not the best of goals, but keep on creating chance here with Elgerson making his way into the box, takes a shot, but it does hit the bar. And then it's Ronaldinho's turn to get a shot in, and we get the bicep kick here with Wallison, but it is offside. So we go into the second half, where he will manage to push back in the 51st minute with Mikoli, but just 5 minutes later it is Ben Arthur on the ball, doing some nice stuff out of the wing, cutting in behind the defender, and we'll pass it all the way across. And I tried to pass to Gustavo there, but it do not happen, and it ends up being Elia picking the ball up to make it 2-1, and one final goal we'll get with Ronaldinho there to make it 3-1, and that is how the game will end. So I'm through to the quarterfinals. And I do manage to pick up a win with this side, but I had to change team. Their fitness were running pretty low, so I'll go with the 4-3-2-1 side for the quarterfinals. And I mentioned this in the last episode. This team is starting to work out really well for me, placing Taarabt at the striker position and then swapping or putting Mikoli on the center mid. Means basically you'll always have 4 players up in front. You will have De Rossi defending on in the midfield, and then you will have David Luiz being the box-to-box player running back and forth, which tends to work pretty well for me. And I get my first chance here in the 4th minute, but the keeper will save it. And then De Rossi in the 40th minute trying out a long shot, and it goes out for a corner. And straight from the corner, we will actually manage to pick the ball up here, pass it out to Robinho. And it's a long time since I scored a goal like this. A finesse shot into the top corner, reminding me a little bit of FIFA 12 there. And then we get a very nice goal here, a nice link-up play between Lamela and Taarabt to make it a 2-0. And that is how the game will end. And we're through to the semifinals, which will be the last game of this episode. Doing a bit of club maintenance. A lot of my players all of a sudden wanted contracts, 5 of them. Doing the club maintenance, and then we go into the game. And I come up against another pretty nice Premier League team, which you'll see here in just a second. Some all-round good players, but 2 offensive mids on the center mid might not prove for the best choice on the counter-attacks. But I will get the game started here with a nice shot in front to Taarabt, and that was pretty much all that happened in that game skill-wise. So I win the game 1-0 through to the final, and it will be the end of the episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will most likely have another one out tomorrow. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later.